Okay, sound check, sound check. Can everybody hear me? Nice. So I'm going to do a small correction there, because actually we're based in Germany, and so we're a German-based startup, but we are also operating in Georgia, right? So, as you see, first of all, thanks all for coming here. Thanks Touch Crew for organizing such a nice event, and I'm extremely excited to be here on the stage and talk about my topic, which is digital opportunities in the digital wasteland of hidden opportunities in the digital wasteland of traditional industries. So, first of all, in order to understand, what opportunities are there in the traditional industries, first we need to know what does a digital transformation of an industry mean. And I brought you a very basic timeline, a history of digitalization, and I'm going to talk about different industries and some champions in those industries. And most important thing is, at what point did the digitalization in this industry start? So everything starts in 60s, where we had two champions in banking industry, Visa and MasterCard, who came up with this brilliant idea of digitalizing money and creating plastic cards, credit cards, and send them around to customers, to 60,000 people, and tell them, okay, here, now you can use your digital money. So after that, we had SAP digitalizing in 1970s accounting and getting rid of completely paper. So since then, the digitalization in this industry also went in. 1991, we had internet breakthrough, so you all know that, I'm not going to talk about that much. And we have one of the world champions in 94, Amazon, who completely changed the way we shop today. When we have Netflix, getting rid of those nice, lovely DVDs that we all had at home and making streaming possible online. We had Google, together with Wikipedia, who made information accessible for everyone and gave us possibility to reach anything and find everything online what we need. So PayPal, digital transactions all around the world without any physical involvement with a bank or something. Then we have Airbnb digitalizing the hospitality industry, and Uber, the mobility. So you all know those companies, right? I mean, there is nothing new that I just said right now, but once again, pay attention to the timeline. So this is an industry digitalization index coming from McKinsey. I removed all the numbers because numbers are boring. So as you can see, the most digital industries are information technologies, finance, insurance, professional services, media. Almost all the things in those industries are done digitally at the moment. But below, we have our lovely traditional industries: agriculture, construction, hospitality, mining, chemicals, and so on and so on. Yeah? So the main question that I want to ask is, why is there such a big difference? Why some industries like banking started digitalization in 60s, and some industries still today in the 21st century, in 2021, are still working analog? And if you look at it pretty closely, there is a very interesting correlation between the asset heaviness of the industry and the digitalization index of it. So what I want to say is that less physical assets are there in the industry, easier and faster the digitalization process began. That's why we had banking in the beginning, right? Just paper, money. So they got rid of money. Then we had SAP, also paper. Then we had Netflix, who got rid of small physical assets, DVDs. Then we had Airbnb, which is apartments, Uber, cars. So I think I made my point, but what is happening in those industries again? What is happening in construction, in transportation logistics, in mining, agriculture, healthcare, many more, that are multi-trillion global industries, that are, some of them are even bigger than the digitalized ones. So what's happening there? Yeah? Well, there is a complete mess. So if you think they're working with some nice tools, they're working with some even Excels and so on, they're not. Yeah? And those are some actual photos from some of our customers who are still using pen and paper, distributing them around, and completely doing everything completely analog. Also, you can see on the screen how they are planning their assets. Yeah? And because of the fact that those industries, those traditional industries, are making their first baby steps into digital transformation, there are opportunities everywhere. So My name is Rezi. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Seniotech. We are software as a service and IoT solutions provider for construction industry. So a bit of, I'm going to talk about what we exactly do later. A bit of info about myself. So I was born in 1998 here in this beautiful city of Georgia, Tbilisi, sorry, in Georgia. And in 2016, I finished my high school and moved to Germany in another lovely city of Bremen. And yeah, I studied industrial engineering at Jacobs University. And in 2018, I co-founded Seniotech. Formerly, it was known as ShareMac, and maybe some of you know us with this name. So what is it that we exactly do? So we deal with those things. Those are big machines, construction machines, and those are construction projects, and we give our customers, construction companies who are building our bridges, our roads, our buildings, the digital tool that they can do it in a more efficient and a sustainable way. So that's all we do. We're providing solutions for those machines. So, as you know, the company is called Seniotech. We have 3 different solutions, SAM, RAM, and IoT. So SAM stands for Smart Asset Manager. We have also Rental Asset Manager. Those are software as a service subscription platforms where construction companies subscribe with their machines. And we also provide IoT solutions. So some of you who might not know, IoT stands for Internet of Things, and it means physical devices that are connected to the cloud. So yeah, couple of more words about our solutions. So with our software as a service solution, construction companies manage their fleet, plan, organize transportations, track, monitor, try to make their whole usage of their fleet more efficient. Yeah, to cut the long story short, we call it a construction site full life cycle management tool. And as I also mentioned, we also provide powerful tracking and telemetry solutions. So we produce those nice devices that we put on the machine and we collect the data. So we get location data, vibration data, movement, working hours, acceleration, and so on and so on. And with this data that we analyze later in the cloud, we give our customers smarter decision-making possibilities. Which machine should go from which project to which project, which truck is more efficient to use, and so on and so on. So we try to also decrease the number of kilometers driven by transporting those machines. So just a brief also info about the company. We've managed to raise up to 6 million euros up to date, and recently reached 1 million ARR, annual recurring revenue club. We have 65 team members, so companies based in Bremen, Germany, and we also have a team here in Georgia. So we're 65 people. With our tools and system, more than 50,000 machines are managed at the moment, and we collect more than 2.5 million data points per day. So, yeah, I cannot not mention my team, our team. So some of you guys are here in the audience. Thank you. Without you, all this would not have been possible. But in order to understand, how 2 young students with some ideas and not a single day experience in the construction industry land there. So how did we enter such an industry that we had completely no overview and no experience in? So in order for me to explain that, I need to go back in time a bit. And I'm going to go back in 2018. And now I'm going to show you some photos. So that's our first photo. So together with my co-founder, my colleague and a friend, Manu, so we were sitting in a university college dorm room, trying to come up with some ideas and so on. And yeah, we were working literally everywhere, typical university kind of startup. And we had this brilliant idea. We saw Airbnb. Everybody knows Airbnb. Most of you, I guess, used it, right? It's a brilliant, hyper successful startup. That is not a startup anymore, but it was a super successful startup that had a very simple and amazing concept, bringing share economy into apartments and making it possible that one person can rent an apartment from another one. And then we said, okay, look at this amazing thing. But this same concept can be applied to another thing. So our initial idea was to build Airbnb for construction machines. So instead of apartments, you have construction machinery, and there are companies who upload their machines and rent those machines between each other. and bringing the share economy principle there. And we were so inspired with this idea, so much into it. We spent months, more than a year, working on the concept, creating like a perfect thing, how the transportation is going to be organized, who's going to take care of insurance, how the payment is going to be, and so on and so on. Then we pitched this idea like hell, we got some initial investment on board. We started developing the tool. And in the end, we launched it. And we thought, okay, we have created so much anticipation that market is waiting for something like that. So market is just waiting, and as soon as we go online, someone's gonna Google, because we also check the Google data, someone's gonna Google, I want to rent a construction machine, and they're gonna go online, they're gonna find ShareMec, as a first name I just mentioned. They're gonna find ShareMec, they're gonna put some machines in the basket, they're gonna rent it, they're gonna pay. Voila, everything is going to be perfect. And it went live, and we were just waiting for the first transaction to arrive. And we were waiting, and waiting, and waiting. And after 1 year of waiting, and 0 transactions on the platform, we were like, oh my God, what do we do? We need to do something, because we got known to the market. Something is odd. The way we thought something that is working in one industry is going to work in the other simply was not the case. Because we thought there is a construction guy, a dispatcher sitting in the office, he's going to Google how to rent machines, he's going to go online, and he's going to get his PayPal account, everything, billing, everything organized. So yes, we were naive. That's why you need the experience in the market. So this didn't work, and we had basically 2 options. Option 1 was to close down the business and liquidate it, because there was no hope, because of many other reasons as well, technical reasons that I'm not going to talk about right now. Or we had a second option, because at that time our burn rate was pretty low. We had some liquidity in the bank account. So we thought, okay, maybe we should adapt. We should try something. We should understand, first of all, why it doesn't work, and then try to push it. And at this time, we made the most important decision in the history of our company, which was just to go in the field and work in the field. So we went to our potential customers. We spent days, weeks on the site. Yeah, those are real photos from our history. Me installing our first IoT device, then troubleshooting it under the rain, under the umbrella. Thanks. Small McDonald's break on the construction site. Nothing feels better than McDonald's when you're hungry. So, for what? No, we were just there to learn. We were just there to listen to those people, to understand the language they speak, to understand their everyday challenges. What are those? Is it something completely different? It might be completely different than what we offered them. After spending some months, maybe literally half a year on the construction site, so we were switching like every day. One person was going on the site and understanding, things. Yeah, some more photos. That photo is actually taken when I was taking photo of container, and literally 3-4 seconds after the photo was taken, I slipped. I had a proper injury, but never mind that. So that was a game changer for us. So this was the moment that helped us. That was it made everything clear. Yeah, the digitalization that we offered from outside, it was clear that it's not going to work. Because companies are not digital inside first. So they first need to optimize their internal process, digitalize their internal process, and then you can offer something from outside. Because offering a digital tool from outside, where companies' internal processes, their accounting, their billing, nothing is digital, simply won't work. Yeah? So that was a game changer, and that's why we completely put aside the Airbnb of the construction machines, and we created SAM, Smart Asset Manager, that helps the companies to manage not only their fleet, but their people, so the whole construction site. And that was successful. So, what are our main key learnings from this last 4.5-5-year journey? Key learning number 1, naiveness is not a weakness. My co-founder and I always tell each other, if we had known how much shit we're going to go through over these years, we would have never started. So naiveness is not a key. You just need to go into it, start doing it, and the experience and knowledge of the industry is going to come. Yeah? So just very normal and the best quote I know so far from Nike, just do it. Just jump on it and just do it. That's key learning number 1. Key learning number 2, nothing is better than hands-on experience. So just go in the field, go talk to your customers, sit with them, spend as much time as possible with them. Yeah? For last 5 years of experience, I didn't have a single case where I asked for help, I asked for feedback, I asked for suggestions, and I got no as an answer. So ask for help, and if you dare to ask, you're gonna get answers. So if you're, just an example, working in agriculture industry, go out from your office, if you wanna build a digital tool for agriculture, go out from your office, go in the field, drive this nice tractor, go farm yourself, talk to the farmers, and then come back to your office, sit at the computer and start building your tool. So, key learning number 3, it's hard to get in, but hard to get out business. So some of you who might not know the term, what I mean by this is that B2B sector, especially traditional industries, are like the sales cycle of your product is much higher than into B2C sector. So it might take sometimes 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, sometimes more than a year, from the first contact until for the first touch point until you sign the contract. It might be too much time. And I understand for startups this is quite frustrating, right? Because we have all speed problem. We need to be fast and develop faster. We need to acquire customers faster. But this is just the way it is. Yeah? But this doesn't only have disadvantages, but also proper advantages. Because for traditional large corporation, integrating a digital tool is a big decision. And it also takes financial resources and also project resources, right? So on top of what they pay you for your digital tool, they also have their internal huge amount of costs of integrating it. That's why once you're inside, once you, so to say, integrate your tool into the company, you're gonna stay there for a long, long time. So, and key learning number 4 is, I guess a lot of speakers also mentioned this during the Touch conference, but once again, I'm going to repeat because this is very, very important. So, fast and agile iterations. Don't try to come up with a perfect tool right from the beginning. Start with something, but the most important is bring it to the customer and iterate fast. Get feedback, iterate fast. And just as an example, this is how we developed our IoT, one of our IoT devices. So this was a first device we developed, the next one, next iteration, next iteration, next iteration, and in the end, we got to the product that found its own place in the market. So fast iterations, and you're gonna, one way or another, come up with a product that fits the market. It's gonna find its own way. So that was it. Thank you for your time. I hope I was not too boring. And I'll be around. If you have some questions, feel free to approach me. Thanks a lot.